Dzisiaj zobaczymy sobie World of Warcraftowe największe, najpopularniejsze zagadki lata później. Materiał robiony przez kapitana Grima i zobaczymy, co to będzie. To będzie 15 minut jakichś zagadek różnego rodzaju. Wbrew pozorom World of Warcraft ma dosyć dużo różnych niewykorzystanych i do końca niezrobionych wątków, nie? Więc...
World of Warcraft has always had many great aspects to it that have made it such an immersive game. But to me, one of the coolest things about it was the mysteries that left people scratching their heads.
Tak, ja też bardzo lubiłem.
Wild theories on what certain stuff could mean. It definitely added an extra layer to the game's world, making it feel that much more real and alive.
To prawda.
That being said, the game has been out for a long time, and many of these mysteries have greatly been expanded on or revealed years later.
Ciekawe, o czym będzie gadał.
Exactly what we're going to revisit and see how they've lived up to expectations.
Na przykład o statuach, kurde, dark portalowych, nie?
This video is sponsored by you.GG.
Let's go!
Every time I feel like causing irreparable mental damage to myself, I play some League of Legends.
Let's go, League of Legends!
I always use you.GG to make the experience bearable.
League of Legends!
Now they have a World of Warcraft section just for you.
Kupię
Provide
wszystko.
you with fast and easy insights for talent setups and best in slot gear with data from the very best players. Your friend is feeling down because his wife left him and took the kids because he played WoW too much? Bam! Not a problem. Pull up you.GG and work him through some content to make him happy. You can't stand our dungeon grow augmentation if Ochre is too low DPS. Yeah, shut up, nerd. Just check the you.GG tier list. That's right. You can also easily browse class tier lists for different pieces of content like
Dobra reklama.
and even PvP with specific filters for difficulties, instances, and even bosses. Use you.GG with the link in the description now. No guides.
Kurde, myślicie, że tam dobre są guidy na tym?
No.
Bo reklama dobra. Oho, dobra, zaczynamy. Macie popcorn? Ach, muzyczka, klimacik. Klimacik.
Tirisfal Glades. A zone so unique and well handled in its creepy and melancholic vibe that it would make new players' imaginations run wild the moment they began their journey through it.
Jest taki depresyjny klimat, nie?
Seemed off about this place, whether it had to do with the various creatures and monstrosities or factions in the area,
Świetna muzyka jest taka ambientowa.
notorious spots that had to do with Warcraft's lore. The atmosphere in general would make players paranoid as they would begin to create urban legends and stories until one finally gained traction, as eventually players would begin to find more clues to feed their suspicions. When it was revealed that initially, when Blood Elves settled on the Eastern Kingdoms, they would attempt to make residence in Tirisfal Glades, yet were eventually driven away by some of them slowly turning mad and feeling dark powers around them. For many WoW players, this wasn't unheard of. If someone was going mad, then it usually meant that it was the work of the old gods.
Było tak.
Corrupt Azeroth. So a lot of people quickly started spreading the idea that there might be an old god sleeping beneath Tirisfal Glades.
Tak było, dokładnie. Później się okazało, że to
city of Ny'alotha. A lot would begin to feed into this theory, as for example, some players claiming they could hear distinct heartbeat noises in the zone's ambience if they increased their volume enough.
O kurde, czat.
I can definitely hear a low reverberating wump.
Jest jakiś dźwięk, jakiegoś serca bijącego,
nie? So I can imagine how some paranoid players could have considered this. Especially since Blizzard have been known to add ominous sounds and Easter eggs in some of WoW's ambiences. Players scramble, everyone trying to prove that they are a true lore guru by spreading their various speculations on what the mystery could actually be, until Blizzard intervened to finally calm their nerves. Players, wait! There is no old god under Tirisfal!
Tam jest generał old godów!
But there's still something truly unsettling
Tak.
there. Yes, Blizzard had to confirm there is in fact no old god,
ale jest coś innego.
Something else. Though some might have felt a bit let down that there wasn't an actual old god, at least they got real confirmation by Blizzard that yes, there was actually something down there. Quickly, the alternative theory arose that the Lost Titan Watcher, Tyr's corpse, was rotting beneath Tirisfal, causing horrible problems to the lands around it. Titan Watchers were ancient beings sent by Titans.
Coś tym było, nie? Bo tam akurat był grobowy styra.
Had been missing for a while, so players used 100% of their brain power to come to the conclusion that he must be what's beneath the zone, because Tirisfal
Że to jest Tears Fall.
Tears Fall.
Czyli upadek
Get it?
Tyra.
Crazy,
Fuck.
right? And without anything more to go on, this is kind of where the show ended. But later down the line, we would finally get our answer to what was actually down there.
Tam jeszcze było ten taki motyw z takimi grzybkowymi kółeczkami i o pewnej godzinie zbierały się tam fey dragony, po prostu przychodziły i odprawiały jakiś rytuał i się rozchodziły. I też nikt nie wiedział tak naprawdę, o co w tym chodzi, nie?
The Legion expansion. A new area would be uncovered in the nearby lake with a tomb, Tears Tomb, where arms warriors, shadow priests, and holy paladins would venture into in order to retrieve their artifact.
To już Legion było, nie?
And they were met with a brief instance with some trash mobs and a brief simple guide on how to play their class. Blizzard did at least build up on a lot of the Furies, as Tyr did indeed fall there, as he fought a powerful old god servant who we also find there.
On się jakoś nazywał, Zak Siaraż, kurde, Zak Jaż.
Priests then absorb the power from the corpse left by the warriors, and paladins desperately run away when they unleash some random powerful void being that happened to be there as well. So,
holy shit, no, tak było.
That's pretty much how the mystery of what may have been buried underneath Tearsfall Glades ends. A short class quest in a tiny little area. I guess it was at least something, but suffice to say that a lot of people were expecting something more.
O, ale jakby jakoś gdzieś nawiązali do tego. O Jezu. Tak, Ashbringer, o Jezu. Ile było legend odnośnie Ashbringera. Ludzie tam kurde spekulowali, że w którymś momencie to tam coś z natem paglem i trzeba było łowić tego. I oni później w Legionie zrobili mema z tego, że jak się łowiło, chwileczkę, jak się łowiło te jakby rybki, to można było zdobyć wygląd do tej broni, nie? Bardzo ładnie, Miśka. Co to jest? Bardzo ładnego murloka moja córka zrobiła. O nie, to tutaj. Proszę bardzo. Wygląda jak murlok? Nie no jest totalnie murlok. Co ty tutaj pisałaś? Bardzo ładne. Bardzo mi się podoba. Dziękuję. A ty, Miśka, wiesz, że jest godzina już 21, trzeba powoli już do spania. Proszę się szykować już, dobra? No możesz mi położyć na półkę. Dziękuję bardzo. Dziękuję, kochanie. Do buziaka. Dobra. Leć, Miśka, do tego. Ogarnię już się do spanka. Bye. Zamknij mi drzwiczki.
Players yearned for it. Its renown grew because its mystery grabbed the attention not only of those that kept track of the lore, but also the casual player. People would follow its amazing story all the way from it being crafted and being wielded by Alexander Smallgrain, to also when he fell at the hand of his son, then resurrected by Kel'Thuzad to fight for him, thus also having the blade be corrupted.
Ten syn się nazywał jak? To był... Jak tam się nazywał ten jego syn, kurde? Był Alexandros Mograine i Reynold Mograine, tak.
This corrupted version was what first grabbed the attention of many, as during vanilla within the raid of Naxxramas, you could obtain the corrupted Ashbringer from Mograine after you slayed him as a part of the Four Horsemen. The source design was unique. It had unusual attributes, as it would literally curse you and would occasionally whisper to you.
Świetny motyw, naprawdę świetny motyw.
Not only that, equipping it altered faction dynamics and caused a very notable scripted event in the Scarlet Monastery.
Tak, this was huge. To me,
it was one of the most amazing things I've seen done in a video game and truly made you feel special as the wielder of this weapon. But then it got players thinking, wow, this sword is so cool, there's just so much about it. But, if this one is corrupted...
Może da się jakoś go uleczyć.
Then what about its uncorrupted version? Players scrambled, cold red. Was there a way to acquire the pure Ashbringer, or cleanse the corrupted one? They had to know. And surely enough, soon people would stumble on the datamine file for the blade. There it was.
Było?
Of its actual existence within the game.
Był taki
With
item
this, every young paladin's neurons flared up. This was a sign. They would be the ones to become the next Ashbringer.
Był legendarny. Świetna scena, kurde.
But of course, there was a problem. Nobody had any idea where to look for the answers. Though it didn't seem too desperate, as some NPCs in the game mentioned it here and there. Quickly rumors were spread after players found a tattered book
tym
with only one
paglem.
page remaining that read how
And so, that's where you'll find the legendary sword of the Scarlet High Lord Ashbringer. Ain't it amazing what you run into in an ordinary day of fishing? To była, moi drodzy, można było wyłowić jedną stronę dziennika Nata Pagla na temat ekstremalnego łowiectwa ryb i jedyne co przetrwało z tej notatki to dopisek, że i właśnie tam możecie znaleźć legendarny miecz szkarłatnego Lorda Ashbringera. Czy nie jest to niesamowite, na co możesz napotkać się podczas zwykłego dnia łowienia? I się zaczęło. Ludzie zaczęli, kurde, łowić ryby we wszystkich częściach świata, licząc, że uda się wyłowić tak naprawdę Ashbringera albo jakoś go uleczyć. I to później był mem, który w Legionie oni wykorzystali do zrobienia skina.
Nat Pagal fished up the Ashbringer.
Nie trzeba klienta
They
dodatkowego
would attempt
pobierać.
to fish it up
Tylko tego
themselves at the
klasikowego.
location where Mulgrain fell, because of course it probably just plucked into the water. Then after wasting a bunch of time on that, they would notice a phylactery item that used to drop from slimes that would start a quest, but was then removed and apparently belonged to a swordsmith who was
hardcora
tasked
musicie
with
ściągnąć. To
crafting
klasika,
a
po prostu
powerful
klasika.
blade for Mulgrain. Players thought that was a clue, and if you had it, you'd be able to start the quest for it. But of course that led them nowhere as well. Players began trying any one random thing, even at the risk of most rumors being spread by trolls. But Blizzard would finally shine some light on the topic, saying that the sword
It's
wasn't
not in the
actually in the
game.
game right now, but it would be when casters got a legendary weapon as well. And thus, casters actually got Atiesh, a legendary staff. And everyone went crazy once more. Still barely any clues on the Ashbringer.
Tak.
Paladins, gaining severe cases of delusion in his...
Ale czajcie, jak oni to powiedzieli? Ashbringer jest w grze, na razie, znaczy, że nie ma go w grze, ale będzie jak... ale może się pojawić w grze, jak casterzy otrzymają swój item.
All over the world as they searched for
I dodali
any
potem.
hungry to be the very best Ashbringer. And who could blame them? In a game so vast with so many items, and in some cases players even receiving one-off legendary drops, it was completely possible that it was just...
Talisman of Binding Shard. To w ogóle jest bardzo ciekawa historia, bo ten item chyba wypadł tylko i wyłącznie raz. Jeden. Przez jakiś, kurde, nie wiem, przypadek zostało to zakodowane i gość dostał ten item i to był jedyny item, który kiedykolwiek poleciał w grze, o ile dobrze pamiętam. I gość generalnie, później oni to usunęli, jakby jemu nie zabrali tego itema i gość później przestał grać czy coś takiego i ten item gdzieś zniknął przez historię, ale to był jakiś taki, kurde, dziwna rzecz, nie?
Very hidden or difficult to get. Maybe jumping in this exact spot in Westfall 584 times and eating every single consumable one after the other, then you would get it.
Nonsense, nie?
Or was it jumping in that other spot? Whatever. Things were looking grim. But one final clue by Fairbanks in Scarlet Monastery during the previously mentioned corrupted Ashbringer event hinted that the blade could be reforged somewhere in Outlands. And thus, players patiently waited for the Burning Crusade expansion to come around. And finally, nothing. Nothing. Yep, there was no sign of the Ashbringer there either. And come Wrath of the Lich King, we would finally meet Tyrion, who would wield the blade for the time being, destroying all hope
On
that
cały
players
czas
would
miał.
be able to wield the legendary sword. Until finally,
Legion.
it would all come to an end in Legion.
I każdy go
as
dostał.
Tyrion would perform the biggest fraud there is
Zginął, wybuch.
in the broken shores.
Pęk na bańce, czat.
Okay, guys, there sure is a lot of demons. Whoa, we should really be careful and stick together. By the way, where's Tyrion? He went further in alone. Oh, I see. What?
Tyrion, it's a trap. The light will protect me. The light will. By the light. Everyone, calm down.
Thordry! No! Dumbass. With Tyrion dying like an absolute clown in Retribution Paladin fashion, the Ashbringer was once again a ripe for the picking. Thankfully, it didn't take long. as paladins could start their quest for it and find Tyrion's finely toasted body several hours or days later for whatever reason, to have one last chat with him. Then quickly beat up a Dreadlord and bam! You are now the Ashbringer.
The Ashbringer.
Congratulations! Along with the other 5 million paladin players.
Tak, wszyscy mają Ashbringer. Ja jestem Ashbringerem. Nie, ja jestem Ashbringerem. Wszyscy jesteśmy Ashbringerami.
Suffice to say, once more, a bit of a letdown in how it all played out. Around 14 years later, at least it was kind of cool that Blizzard paid homage to the original trials that players
Design tego miecza jest
the
zajebisty,
Ashbringer
trzeba
with,
przyznać.
by adding a
Bardzo
very
ikoniczny.
similar questline for obtaining the new special corrupted skin for it, with you killing slimes for phylacteries and also fishing.
Tak.
At the end of our confrontation with the Lich King, Arthas's path of carnage
No i
came
straciło
to an
znaczenie
end, so
totalnie.
Sylvanas deemed it unnecessary to live anymore. Her goal in life completed.
Tak, skurczę,
She
zdrowia
got
przysiadł
nothing
na
left to
butlę
live
od
for,
Saronite'u.
So she decided to put it all to an end. Haha, see ya, losers. This place fucking sucks anyway. She plummeted as her body finally collided with the Saronite spikes and got obliterated.
I ona trafi-
It was GG. Then
I ona generalnie trafiła do jakiegoś takiej kurde czyśćca, ona tak to opisywała i ona po prostu ją coś tam tak przeraziło i wyciągnęła ją Walkiria, ale na zasadzie takiej, że jedna Walkiria zastąpiła jej miejsce w tamtym miejscu. Okazało się, że ona trafia do Shadowlandsów po prostu, do Demaw.
silence. And then horrors beyond her imagination tearing into her very being. But then the Valkyrs offered her a pact, which she accepted and was returned to life. Ever since
Tak.
then, Sylvanas was different. And the mystery was, what did Sylvanas exactly see in
Widziała
death?
dodatek Shadowlands.
Fact is that whatever players' speculations were,
I miała
nobody
dość.
could be quite sure, as there was not so much known about the death realm of Warcraft's universe. But finally, only recently, we got our long-awaited answer.
O. Ona na Torgas trafiła.
You know, you should work for me.
I don't
Why?
know.
I'm bold, beautiful, and half naked, which makes me very trustworthy.
Oh, okay. And so it was. Sylvanas allied up with the jailer. By far one of the most boring and uninteresting
Taki
villains out
głupi,
there. And his
ten-
master
ten-
plan of rewriting the laws of life
Jest
and
taki,
death.
kurwa,
As she
głupi.
forced her people into various wars in order to obliterate them and feed their souls to Rama to help him out on his noble quest. Until when
Wszystko
the jailer
zaplanował.
reveals the unbelievable.
Haha, you fool! I was merely using you in order to create a reality where everyone will
Design
serve
fajny,
me.
beznadziejny.
So the jailer.
Oopsies! And the mystery of WoW's afterlife and the horrible things Sylvanas saw that day were no more. The Shadowlands overall turned out to be fairly lackluster,
Widzę wszystko
with a lot of
zapamiętane.
people feeling disappointed with how there was wasted potential considering how many good characters there were in the lore that were already dead and we didn't even get to meet.
Ach,
or
ten
we
motyw
barely
z
saw
Artasem,
much of.
kurde.
With
Jaina.
Shadowlands going down as probably one of the least liked WoW expansions overall for a multitude of reasons. Storytelling being a pretty big one. At the end of the day, it has to be said that it's kind of a shame how these great mysteries turned out. I think it's fair to say that the way they were handled and presented that many years later just
No.
left a lot to be desired.
Chyba
They
Shadowlandsy było
felt pretty
najgorsze.
unremarkable. And the world of the game feels a bit more barren now without them, with few new ones to take their place for the future. Regardless, feel free to share your own favorite WoW mysteries and theories in the comments. And take care.
Kurde, czy
If you want to support the channel,
pamiętacie może jakieś, kurczę, jeszcze jakieś zagadki azerotowe? Staram się przypomnieć jakieś tam takie zagadeczki, które były. Jeszcze kiedyś takie, kurczę... Jakieś tam były, kurczę. Bardzo fajny film generalnie. Znaczy taki podsumowujący rzeczywiście niektóre motywy, które gdzieś tam się pojawiły przez lata. Dzieci z Goldshire. No, to są takie bardziej easter eggi, nie? Jakieś tam były, kurde. Faceless w Darkshore, no, teoretycznie, no. Chociaż później oni to chyba wytłumaczyli, że po prostu są pozostałości po tym, nie? Ale to było tak, że Ashbringer dodali w SOD z Raidem Skull. Stary, a jakby tak zrobili, no, to by fajne. Właśnie jest w Sod Cross Realm, w sensie łączone między serwerami. Nie, będą dwa osobne. Drzwi w Uldum, no. O, to też można byłoby w tym filmie zrobić, nie? Że to były drzwi do Uldum i to po prostu wytłumaczyć, nie? Że tam generalnie znajdowała się ta kraina Uldum, w którym znajdował się ten ten Halls of Reorigination, nie? I że to było pod jakimś tam, że kataklizm uszkodził to urządzenie maskujące tą krainę i tak dalej, nie? Karazhan Crypts, tak, no. Tego chyba nie wytłumaczyli ostatecznie, nie? Co tam było? Pix TV, dziękuję bardzo. 14 miesięcy zuba, dziękuję. Zagadek nie znam, ale kojarzę, że jakiś czas temu Azmon oglądał jakiś film o sekcie, który okazał się fanfikiem. Tak, to było w Stone Talon Mountain. To było w Stone Talon Mountain chyba ten zabójca ze Stone Talon, coś takiego, kurczę. Coś tam było, nie? Więc ta jaskinia w Anki Rush ze śpiącym smokiem. Coś tam było takiego, ale kurde, ten Sokal Killer. Sokal Lady Killer, tak, coś takiego było. Ale to było nieprawda. Znaczy to w zasadzie na koniec filmu się dowiadywać, że to był fake, ale klimat był zrobiony dosyć nieźle, nie? Poprowadzony tego filmu. Więc super. Żeby zacząć grać do Discovery, trzeba mieć zainstalowaną wanilę i tam będą dedykowane serwery. Tak, dokładnie. Szybko wyjaśnić, kiedy startuje sezon i kolejka. Sezon startuje za godzinę dosłownie, o 22. Pozdrawiam Nexos Live, bo wyłączamy to nagranie.